Today, we are going to talk to you about the 7 habits of strong password management. You cannot trust that your passwords, or any data really, are 100% safe in the hands of any website or company, no matter how large. But online security is all about reducing risks, and there are many things you can do to mitigate the efforts of fallout when another online service you use is compromised. And I deliberately say when, not if. All right, so number 1. Do not reuse passwords ever. The average computer is subject to a hacking attempt every 39 seconds. The first point of entry a hacker will try is almost always a password. And if you reuse a password from one site to the next, a breach at one site will often result in your account being compromised on others. The goal is to create a password that someone else won't know or be able to easily guess. Stay away from common words, avoid using your name or street name, and anything associated with you that someone could find out from social media or from a deep conversation with a stranger on a plane or at a bar. Longer passwords are better. 8 characters is a great place to start. You can create strong passwords by mixing letters, numbers, and special characters. So what can you do to make sure your passwords are bulletproof, and how can you limit the damage from a data breach? The best way is to never reuse a password. And the best way to do that is by using a password manager. On to number 2, use a password manager. The best way to keep your passwords unique and strong and your accounts as secure as possible is to use a password manager. Strong passwords are longer than 8 characters and are hard to guess and contain a variety of characters, numbers, and special symbols. The best ones can be difficult to remember. A password manager will take the load off your mind, freeing up your brain power for doing more productive things rather than remembering a long list of passwords. When you use a password manager, you need to log into a website. Instead of typing your password into the website, you type your master password into the password manager, which automatically fills the appropriate login information into the website. You don't have to think about the email address, username, and password you use for the website. Your password manager does the dirty work for you. If you're creating a new account, your password manager will often generate a secure random password for you, so you don't have to think about that either. It can also be configured to automatically fill information like your address, name, and email address into a web form. Avoid sharing credentials. Number 3. The average individual showers, brushes their teeth, combs their hair, and does their laundry. In other words, most people try to practice basic personal hygiene. So if we're vigilant about keeping ourselves clean, why are we so lax when it comes to practicing good password hygiene? No, your health probably isn't going to suffer from a terrible password. However, your online privacy and security might. The risks of sharing passwords are immense. If hackers gain entry into your system, shared passwords make it much easier for them to increase their access to other parts of your network, which can turn a single security incident into a full-blown breach. Users with shared passwords can delete or alter sensitive company data, make unapproved charges with stored payment methods, or lock other users out of an account by altering login credentials. Unregulated access means it's hard to know whether employees who have left the company have access to sensitive company data or accounts. Employees share passwords because they think it makes their busy jobs easier. In the stress of today's fast-paced workplace, it's understandable position. However, the risks more than outweigh the perceived benefits. An organization that puts into place a collaborative tool gives employees a better option than sharing passwords. When team members have their own unique logins, you can now better lock down security, know who is working on what, and keep emails moving more smoothly and productively. A true collaborative tool eliminates the problem of password sharing and gains you many benefits, including better security, team accountability, and decreases in lost productivity. Number 4, be careful where you enter your passwords. Beware of entering passwords on websites that don't show the lock, indicating that traffic is encrypted, opening links that you get via email, and working in an untrusted wireless networks. Use internet connections you trust, such as your home or VPN connection. Public networks are not very secure, which makes it easy for hackers to get your data. If you choose to connect to open networks, ensure you are using endpoint protection and firewall software on your device or use a VPN, which allows you to connect to the internet securely. Number 5, keep your devices safe. Computers and devices are smart, sometimes too smart, and unless you're actively logging out, your account may remain open indefinitely, allowing others to easy access. While it's certainly convenient to not have to log in every time on your own devices, it's important to weigh that convenience with the risk of what might happen if our device gets in the wrong hands. Also, getting into the habit of logging out on your own devices makes it less likely we're accidentally stayed logged in on our accounts on computers and devices that aren't ours. Update your operating system. Your devices use an operating system to function, as this important software requires periodic updates. But in the habit of checking for available software updates and installing them as soon as possible, these updates can address security flaws and protect the information on your device. Ensure you are using endpoint protection. These programs can protect against viruses and hacking attempts. Number 6, use MFA everywhere you can. If hackers do end up stealing your password, you can still keep them from gaining access to your account with multi-factor authentication, also called two-step verification or 2FA. This is a security safeguard that requires you to enter a second piece of information that only you have, usually a one-time code that you must enter before you can be logged in. Essentially, even if a hacker is able to uncover your passwords without your trusted device, like your phone, and the verification code that confirms that it really is you, they won't be able to access the account. Lastly, number 7, exercise security mindfulness. Your passwords are your first line of defense against the internet and the hackers that reside within it. Internet security and password protection must be top of mind for organizations. Implement and communicate company security policies and enforce the policies with controls. Most of us don't typically consider physical security a part of computer security, but it's just as important to securing your data as anything else. So remember, password management is your responsibility. Ensure everyone on your team understands the importance of password hygiene. These 7 actions are easily implemented in both your personal and professional life. At the end of the day, there is always a risk that your information will be compromised, but by following these easy steps, you are mitigating the risk significantly.